From the outside, our house looked grand, a big gate, tall walls, and lights that shone brightly at night. But inside, for me, it was nothing less than a prison. After my mother died, my father remarried. My stepmother moved in with her daughter, Sana. From the first day, I became a stranger in my own home. At first, I thought maybe things would get better. I told myself she's my father's wife. Maybe she'll learn to love me like her own. But love never came, only bitterness. My stepmother treated me like a servant. Aisha, wash the dishes, she'd say, while Sana sat in the living room with her friends, giggling over her phone. Aisha, clean the floor, polish the shoes, iron the clothes. Every chore, every task was pushed onto me. If I made a mistake, she would scold me in front of everyone. Relatives who visited saw it all, but no one ever said a word. At family gatherings, Sana wore silk dresses and gold jewelry, while I stood in the kitchen serving food. Once, during a wedding, my cousin whispered to another, loud enough for me to hear, "She's more like a maid than a daughter of this house." My cheeks burned with shame. I wanted to scream, but all I could do was swallow my tears. Father, he loved me, I knew that, but he was a weak man in front of his wife. Whenever I tried to tell him, his eyes filled with guilt. "Beta, things will get better. Just stay patient," he'd say. I believed him until the night he fell sick and never recovered. The day he was buried, I felt my whole world crumble. Sana and her mother wasted no time. They took control of the house completely. Within a week, my room was shifted to the storeroom at the back, a damp place with peeling paint and broken furniture. "This is enough for you," my stepmother said coldly. "Be grateful you're even allowed to stay." I cried at night, my face buried in the pillow so no one could hear me. Sometimes I would whisper into the darkness, "Why me, Allah? What did I do wrong?" But answers never came. Months passed and the humiliation continued. Guests would come and Sana's mother would make me serve tea while saying loudly, "This girl is useless. She has nothing of her own. If it weren't for my kindness, she'd be on the street." They laughed. Sana laughed. Everyone laughed. And I died inside, piece by piece. One evening, after another long day of insults, a man came to the house. He was dressed in a neat suit, holding a leather file. "I'm Mr. Harris, your father's lawyer," he said politely. My stepmother welcomed him with a false smile, thinking he had come to hand everything to her and Sana. But then he said something that changed my life forever. "I need to speak to Aisha privately. Your father left specific instructions." The color drained from my stepmother's face. "Instructions? For her?" she asked sharply. "Yes," the lawyer replied firmly, "only for her." He followed me to the small storeroom. My hands shook as he placed the file in front of me. "Your father wanted you to have this after his passing." With trembling fingers, I opened it. Inside was a letter in father's handwriting. "My dearest Aisha, if you are reading this, it means I could not protect you in life the way I wanted to. I know how you have been treated and I am sorry. That is why, in secret, I placed the entire property, the house, and all assets under your name. You are the rightful heir. Don't fight them with anger. Let the truth be your revenge. When the time comes, show them this and stand with dignity. I love you, Beta." Tears poured down my face as I clutched the letter. Father had seen everything. He had known. He hadn't abandoned me after all. The next day, relatives gathered at the house. Sana's engagement was being celebrated. The living room glowed with lights, laughter, and music. My stepmother stood proudly, dressed in silk, while Sana showed off her diamond ring. Guests clapped, congratulating them. I stood quietly near the door, clutching father's file. My stepmother noticed and snapped, "Why are you standing there like a ghost? Go to the kitchen." But this time, I didn't move. My heart pounded, but my feet stayed firm. Mr. Harris stepped inside right then, carrying additional documents. The room fell silent. "I have an announcement," he said. "Before his death, Mr. Rashid, your father, left a will. And according to his instructions, the rightful heir of this house, land, and all assets is not Sana, not her mother, but Aisha." Gasps filled the hall. My stepmother's face turned pale, her smile frozen in disbelief. "This is nonsense," she shouted. "She's lying. This lawyer is lying." But Mr. Harris calmly unfolded the papers, showing seals and signatures. "Everything is legal. Everything belongs to Aisha." The guests began whispering. Sana's fiancé's family looked uncomfortable. Her eyes welled with panic as she realized the glittering future she had dreamed of was crumbling. I looked at them. The people who had laughed at me, humiliated me, made me feel worthless. My voice trembled, but I finally spoke. For years you treated me like a servant. You called me a burden. But my father knew the truth. He saw everything. And tonight, the truth has spoken louder than your insults. No one laughed this time. No one mocked. My stepmother sank into a chair, her pride shattered. Sana hid her face, humiliated in front of her fiancé's family. The same relatives who once taunted me now avoided my eyes. I didn't scream. I didn't gloat. I simply walked to father's favorite chair, placed his letter on the table, and whispered, "You were right, Abu." Silence was my strength. That night, the house didn't belong to them anymore. It belonged to me. But more than that, dignity belonged to me again. And for the first time in years, I didn't cry myself to sleep. Because sometimes the loudest revenge is not anger, not shouting, not hate. Sometimes the loudest revenge is simply the truth revealed at the right time.